by grouping. So example 1, we have 4 terms. The first thing you need to do is look for a GCF that you can divide everybody by. But here, we don't have a GCF. We can't divide everybody by x. We can't divide everybody by 2. So we don't have a GCF that I can pull out from the get-go. Now, the grouping part, you're going to group these two together and find the GCF. And then you're going to find the GCF after grouping these two together. Okay? So the GCF for the first two is going to be 4x squared, because I can divide them both by 4x squared and still get a whole number. So the GCF goes right there in the front. And then in parentheses, you're going to put what you get after you divide them. Same thing right there. You group them together, find the GCF. The GCF between these two is going to be 7. That goes right there. Okay. Now, first term divided by the GCF. So 4x cubed divided by 4x squared, you get x. 8x squared divided by 4x squared, you get 2. Same thing right there. So 7x divided by 7 is x. 14 divided by 7, you get 2. Good thing is, this is going to be the same as that if you're doing the right thing. If you're not, if you end up with something different, check your work. You're probably not doing something right. Okay, so your final answer will be, you bring both GCFs together and you write that as a factor. And then notice as soon as you see and you notice that these guys are the same, they go right there as the other factor. Okay, again, for number 2, you always start out looking for the GCF. Since I don't have a common number for all of them, I go to the next step, which I need to group them. So I'm going to find the GCF between these guys and then find the GCF between these guys. So the GCF between these two guys is going to be 7k squared. When I divide 35k cubed by 7k squared, you get 5k. Minus this divided by this, that's not 0. Okay, 7 divided by 7 is 1. Be careful with that. Now plus, GCF between these two is 8. Divide, put in parentheses, so 40 divided by 8, 5. Okay, 8 divided by 8 is 1, but because you have a negative, so negative 1. It's negative 8 divided by 8. Okay, now you pull both GCFs and you write it out as a factor. And you double check to make sure that these two are the same, and that goes in also as a factor. Now, number 3, before you start pulling the GCF, notice how it's out of order. Here you have 4th power, and then it's all out of order. Before you start doing anything, let's organize this. Let's put it in order from greatest to least exponent. So I'm just rewriting it. After you do that, you're going to look for the GCF for the whole thing. So I can see that I can divide them all by 3. And I can also see that they all have an a that I can divide everybody by. Okay, so the GCF for the whole thing is going to be 3a. So 3a goes outside, divide everybody by 3a. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing that we did for examples 1 and 2. We're going to group them and group them. Okay, you can write yourself a little note, or you can just go ahead and do it. So the GCF between these two will be what? This GCF between these two will be what? You can add an extra step here, or you can just keep going. So the GCF from the beginning doesn't go away. It doesn't disappear. It's always going to be there. So I have 3a. Now, the GCF between 4a cubed and 2a cubed will be 2a cubed. Squared, sorry. Now you divide, goes right there. 4 divided by 2 is 2. A cubed divided by a squared is a. Plus 2a squared divided by 2a squared, we get 1 right there. Plus GCF between these two is 3. Divide. 6a divided by 3 is 2a. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay, we're almost done. Now, the main GCF doesn't go away. That doesn't disappear. It's part of your final answer. Now, these are the same, so that's great. That's going to be one of your factors. Now you write both GCFs from right there, and that's going to be a factor. So 2a squared plus 3, and then 2a plus 1. Last one. Again, let's look for GCF right there between everybody. That's a no-go. We can't divide everybody by 2 because of this 9. Can't divide by 3 either because of these guys. Don't be scared when you see 2 variables, okay? It might work out for you. Okay, I'm going to group them. So this groups with that, this groups with that. Okay, GCF between these two. You can write yourself a little note, but you don't have to. So 2x, and here I have 9. Okay, so 2x goes right there. Divide. So 4xy divided by 2x, I have 2y. Minus this divided by this, I have 1. 9, that's this 9 right here. So 2y minus 1 again. Okay? Now you bring both GCFs, that they make a term. And then 2y minus 1. The end.